say the correct version, additional request from the county. So potentially you could see about $150,000 increase to the budget. So again, I say that simply because it's something that we know that's, we're discussing money and budgets. So anyway, I won't steal Dr. Thunder, but it's just something to consider.
All right, thank you, Fred. Jackie, thank you. Guys, please, if you have any other questions, reach out to Fred, myself, and Jackie this week. Moving on to item 8A, new business. Discuss and consider ordinance number 2022-0901, allowing for the placement of a 2013 single-wide manufactured home, 18 by 76, property description, such and such and so forth. This is an action item. I'm going to go ahead and call for a vote for item 8A. May I have a motion, please? There's a motion by Councilwoman Hernandez. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Rodriguez. Now, this being the case, this is the Shaw property. Is there any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, and the rule is for Zoom, we have to be able to see you and hear you. So Councilman Leal's vote does count. All right, motion passes unanimously. All right, moving on to item 8B. This is not an action item, but it is a presentation by the Pearsall ISD Superintendent, Dr. Rodriguez, regarding the request for additional funds for repair to the Pearsall Public Pool. Dr. Rodriguez, welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
You have the floor.
Thank you for your time. Some of y'all may know that we have a MOU, an agreement between the city, the county, and the district in which all entities contribute a certain amount of money to continue to run the pool, swimming pool, right? Our pool is run by our school district. LaSalle County has a pool run by the county. Dilley has a pool run by the city of Dilley. Hondo has a pool run by the city of Hondo. So currently, the way our MOU is stipulated is that each entity contributes $23,500 per year to run the pool. Currently, our expenditures are near $40,000. One of the agreements is the funding that's left over. We have revenues over expenditures. You know, we send that money back on a 1/3 basis, which we'll be sending back a little bit over $10,000 back to each entity. 10,000 to the city, 10,000 to the county, and 10,000 to the school district, right? At this time, our pool is in need of a major repair. Our pool, the last upgrade was about 11 to 12 years ago. And the pool right now is requiring major fixtures to the foundation. It's got a lot of leaks throughout the pool. And it's gonna require basically removing the paint. The paint basically is what prevents the water from seeping down. So it's to remove the whole structure, the whole painting from the walls and the base, and adding new epoxy putty throughout the whole pool itself, removing the sandstone steps that are in the kiddie pool area because water is also seeping through the old sandstone. So we're just trying to be proactive actually in trying to modernize that pool as best as we can. We did contact the construction company actually that came down 11 years ago to renovate that pool. And the estimated repairs is about $225,000 to repair the leaks, to add a new filter is going to keep the water clean. And it's according to the pH level that it requires and the chlorination levels as well. So we're asking the city council, I actually presented to the Frio County last week, part of their budget workshop, that each entity contribute $98,500. That includes the $23,500 that we all pay into the pool. It is our hope to get this pool, the upgrades going here as early as, the bidding process as early as October, so we can get this project completed hopefully by late fall. So the pool can be up and running again by early, maybe late spring and into the summer, so these kids, the community can enjoy the pool. And that's what we're looking at. So we're hoping that each entity can contribute $98,500. With the understanding that whatever is left over, it refers back to each entity on a split back on a 3rd basis. We're hoping that we can do it less cost, but I'm not sure now.
That is, Councilman.
Have you had any, have you asked around to see how much it'll be to just build a new one? Demolish that one and just get a new one done?
That, you know, our focus is to get that pool, I can ask that question,
Because for 200,000, I mean,
I can ask that, but I'm afraid it's gonna be significantly
Hmm.
higher than that.
Is that an Olympic-sized pool?
It's an Olympic size pool, that's correct?
Mayor.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Dr. Rodriguez, let me ask the question to Federico, and you can ask the finance. Is it 23,500, that we were in contract? I don't remember having this on the agenda, so this obviously had to go on agenda, right?
It's in your budget.
Okay, so the 23,500 is already budgeted, right?
It's budgeted this year and last year.
Okay, did we use any of it last year? We gave y'all that money? And what did y'all do with that money, the 23,000?
That is, so I'm glad you asked that question. We actually bought a filter, a huge filter, right, because there was a need of a filter about a year to 2 years ago. We bought that
How much was that?
about $25,000, just the pool itself, not to include the installation part.
Okay, so did Pearsall, City of Pearsall pay for that only by themselves?
No, the three entities. And then the city council in an agenda item voted to give back the pool, the funds, what was remaining, right? Which our goal still is to put an awning covering on it.
Okay, I
Except-
remember that now. Okay,
Remember that,
the other question I have on this is that I see a contract here for 23,500. Me personally, I'm okay with that because it is budgeted. But Dr. Rodriguez, we do have a sports complex that is in dire need right now. We do have streets that are in need, those items are not in the agenda. And I represent the city of Pearsall. I couldn't not take $75,000 from my parks to put into the school because people do pay school taxes. And those monies should be used for the school. People pay city taxes. We don't utilize the pool for income or revenue, the city itself. I cannot see myself voting on $98,000 because we have parks that are struggling. We have a bathroom that is not ADA compliant. We have another park that doesn't even have working restrooms. You know, that is Moreno's Park, or Portillo Park. Moreno's Park, their restrooms don't even work. The sports complex, they're needing a lot of work on the field, as well as our practice fields that are located in the back. So we have people utilizing that. I'm okay with continuing giving the 23,000 because we are in contract with y'all and it is budgeted. I'm very strong right now in keeping the budget very, very tight. And if I give away $75,000 and I am pushing for us not to raise taxes, I also still have to take care of my city employees and my city taxes. And I don't see it in the budget for $75,000 because we're picking pennies. But the $23,000, I'm for it, but our parks are struggling as well. We have 2 parks that can't be, their bathrooms are not, they're not being utilized. And then we have another park that somebody that's in a wheelchair could not go use the restroom in our facility.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Just a correction, you said aye, but it's the city council that would really do that.
No, but
Yeah.
I am talking about my vote.
Okay, gotcha. Council, is there any other questions? Always, we've had a desire to work with the city, and I think this memorandum of understanding that we have demonstrates that. We want to help the school as much as possible, but we are tight. That's certainly.
So Dr. Warren.
Council, is there anything else, Councilman Trevino?
Dr. Rodriguez, what did the county say?
Yes, they're looking at funds, they're looking at our funds right now. I will tell you, this pool is actually, it came out of a grant from the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and the county took the lead on that. And it was part of the understanding that all 3 entities would contribute a third. So back 11 years ago, the district paid the majority of the renovation cost, the majority. So then the state controller came down and did a big audit of Pearsall ISD, and they looked at the budgetary data, and they said, based on that MOU, it's important that you go back to your 2 entities and just share that information so that everybody is on the same equal pay share. So that came down not out of me, but actually out of the governor's office, the state controller's office. Make sure everybody's contributing their third, and that was it.
I have a question.
Councilman, hold on, Councilman Leal. Councilman Gomez.
On that guy that, you know, looked over the pool and all that kind of stuff, did he say about how many gallons we're losing throughout, on a certain day, you know, given day? No, but I'm saying, the reason I asked that question is because, I don't know if y'all know, you know, here, earlier this year in Israel, whether it's way out there or here, you know, I sent Crystal a video, you know, I know that epoxy is masking cracks and all that kind of stuff, and then the water's seeping somewhere, and the foundation underneath is gonna be, you know, wet or, you know, flushed away somewhere. And, if Crystal can just show the video right quick, just to let you know, cause, I mean, if we're looking at something that might happen like that here, I would be afraid to, being, you know, getting somebody hurt, killed, or whatever. And, I know we got the, you know, the pool with the grant from Texas Park and Wildlife. I mean, that pool was full of water, you know, so, two people got sucked in there quickly. And that because, you know, you can see the epoxy is right there, yes, one guy. You know, and I would hate for that to happen here, because, I mean, if we're just gonna cover it up again with epoxy or are we gonna do the groundwork, you know, do the solid foundation? I'd rather do that and maybe apply
Oh
it.
my God, that's scary.
That's what
Doc, is
And it went meters in.
You can't open it.
Is there any way to do an analysis on the foundation and the?
They're doing that right now, actually, the second analysis, they've done the first analysis, they located the cracks, right? But this entity came in, last weekend to do another test, to get to where the leaks are coming out, like a leak test.
I don't know if you saw that epoxy.
I guess what I'm asking, as far as the stability.
That's on its way.
And
Right.
how it's gonna,
And also
perform,
it's just
are we
like
saying that it's safe? You know what I mean?
Mayor,
Okay, yes,
Dr.
Councilwoman
Rodriguez,
Darcy.
have you gotten any estimates, like, if we were, like, Councilwoman Hernandez said, to get a new pool made, like, have you gone that route or
Not
asked
yet,
about?
not
any-
yet, we're looking at trying to fix it, but we can consider that as well, I'm not sure the significant amount, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that, and the location and placement.
And can we apply for another
That's what I'm
grant?
saying,
You
the
know,
grant.
cause I mean, we had to come up with the 50% to cover our side of it, you know?
I do know the city and the county are entitled to the Texas Parks and Wildlife grants.
Yes.
Are we working on that already?
Yes, that is something, good point. Yes, we are applying this year, I think the application was due in August. I wanted to apply for this past year, I didn't get to it, but we need, as part of that, we need a park master plan,
And we're
which we
doing it.
should have that this month. And once we do that, we'd like to have that, incorporate that with the sports complex improvements, which is I think we talked the concession stand, we talked the bathrooms, and include the Polo Patina. I don't know on the grant if we can apply for more than one facility. I don't know that, I need to look. But if we can, you can, I think it's total, I may be a little off on this, but I think it's a total of $650,000. We do have to have a match.
But it's a match.
But the match, you won't see the match until the next fiscal year.
Right.
So you won't see that until, and then you can look at, Bobby's there. We can look and see if you can fund it through hotel tax. And then there's other sources of funding that I can probably think of. That,
So could we take the 23,500 from the hotel motel tax?
I don't think so. I think that's really stretching. But I don't.
Can we, Bobby?
I don't know.
Because then we could possibly do the 75, no, not 75, be quiet, maybe 23,000 more?
That would be a stretch, given that the city doesn't own the pool.
And it's really, I mean, on the sports complex, you can make the argument that it does draw heavy bids. I don't know that you can draw the same argument with the.
If you put a cool slide.
Well, okay, I can. do that.
Yeah, Councilman Leal, you have the floor.
Yes, just kind of give an idea what a new pool costs. About a 23,000 gallon pool right now, roughly in San Antonio, roughly runs about $115,000. So you could imagine that's a house pool compared to a new pool like the schools would cost to construct new. But nevertheless, I mean, I can't agree more with Councilman Rodriguez that we have parks of our own that need desperate need of attention. has the school gone out to see if maybe they can get a grant through the Parks and Wildlife? And wasn't the original local agreement with the county before the city came in, whenever they originally the grant for the pool came into play?
It was all.
If I'm not mistaken, it was first with the county and with the school, and then later on in time, somehow, some way, the city kind of got involved.
I don't think we know that answer right now, Councilman Leon. What I would tell the council is, Dr. Rodriguez is gonna need an answer. And so, why don't you tell him what, we'll put it on the agenda for next week, Fred? And then tell him what information specifically you need to help make a decision. You wanna, okay, yeah, Jackie?
Dr. Rodriguez, I was just wondering, like, if you knew off the top of your head, or maybe like a roundabout number, on the revenues that it's bringing in.
So I'm glad you asked that question, right? Because normally the fee is $1 per use. And it's really, you have to really run it really well, because you have, salaries is the majority expenditure, right? And when something breaks down, it's
Yeah.
over, it's over. So something that is difficult to see when you look at planning is, when you put something new, it incurs a lot more expenditure that you don't think about. So when you bring something new somewhere else, you're ready, because your expenditures are gonna now increase in the city budget. And the revenues will probably not, because the revenue will come in, thanks to the city and the county and the district, we've been able to manage it well.
Okay.
But before actually I was here, on a yearly basis, expenditures exceeded revenues every year. So we had major contributions into the pool, but we didn't get very much back.
What, Dr. Rodriguez, what I'd like to see is when we issue our check, if you give us a profit and loss for the preceding year, just so that.
We'll get that.
Understand too, it is a benefit to the community, and our 23,000. But anyway, council, is there anything else that you would like for him to bring in?
No, all I wanna
next
know,
week?
if we can get clarification, Bobby, with the contract it said, because I don't wanna be taking anything away from the school if we were in a binding contract. I do see the contract from 1986.
Mhm.
It says for maintenance, that the city and the county are to do it, cause I remember we used to pay like 5,000 or 9,000, is that correct?
You're correct,
A year.
that's correct.
And of course, chlorine is gold, right? It's expensive, and everything else that comes with the pool is expensive. So I just wanna make sure that we get clarification on this contract. I know we have to give something, but make sure we're giving the equal amount that we're supposed to.
Clarification on, okay, I was thinking about, to answer your question about if it were adjacent to the sports complex, the answer would be a yes. But to answer your question about the contract, James is correct based on what was included in the packet. So the original MOU was between the school and the county. But yes, the city did step in and assume a 1/3 participation. So that's what we're basing everything on, is the city said, we're gonna be a part of it, third, and it's been that way since that time forward.
Yes. I was on that council when we decided to do that. I was just wondering- Huh? We do, 23,500. So,
Fills it up.
huh?
The city also fills it up.
And we also fill the
That's
pool
not
up.
taken out of the
Yes.
23,500.
Yeah, that's.
So originally it was county, school, city provides the water. Then it became county, school, city provides the water.
Did the county pay all last year?
Yes, yes.
Council, any other questions for Dr. Rodriguez? Mike?
I do. Mr. Fred, you said something about the grant in August. Are you saying we didn't apply, we have to wait till next year?
This year, this coming August.
This year.
August would have been last month, but yes, we would apply this coming year. We have to have a
So
contract.
master study.
Yes, we
So
have to have a master plan
2023.
done, and so we're looking to, we probably won't get funded, we won't see funding until, what's this?
23, 24.
But it would be wise to,
But it may not work because we don't own the pool.
but you could, on that end again, as your doctor knows, $650,000 will probably help to whatever money he may need. Or maybe, and the question then becomes on that end, and no disrespect to Doc or anybody else, but if we're looking forward, if we're making a one-time fix, the question from the council, staff, and like the school district is, can we anticipate any additional expenses, as far as capital expenses, year moving forward, I guess? Were there gonna be any other significant improvements that you can think
We
of?
were gonna be running the pool like all year long,
Yes, sir.
with the water being there, the chlorination running throughout.